How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. Over on the total, we did attempt to get our breakout. We got the majority of it, so we are going to delete this. If we can hold in this range, we could attempt to make a push toward our 801 area if we can sustain this bullish momentum on those lower time frames. Momentum is starting to taper off, losing its steam, so I would exercise caution. That doesn't mean we have to push down. It can be pretty dire. Back here, we were losing steam for quite some time. We were pushing up. That shows how that momentum does take time in order for price to react to it. Sometimes the momentum will be coming down, price will go up. It takes more of that significant push down for price to get a more actual reaction. Now for our VWAP, remember this is on our Market Cipher B we're using. We also use Market Cipher A. These are free in TradingView, which is all free. In our Mastering the Trade series, we cover how to set these up. So if you're finding value, smash that like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, that way you don't miss anything, and hop to the Mastering the Trade after this. It's only about half an hour to watch it all, so it shouldn't take you long. VWAP is pulling back. It does want to break through this neutral. If our VWAP does make a break through neutral, momentum will weaken. We will see money flows start to reverse, and then the bears can gain more control. But if our VWAP does sustain above this neutral, we can see momentum continue forward, and money flow would remain bullish, helping to push us forward. So over on our 4-hour, we would need to see this continue. We do have a bit of a rising channel. This rising channel could try to push us down if we're not careful. Remember, a rising channel is a bearish pattern that breaks you down. You get consistent tops with consistent bottoms. Did not mean to move that line. And you go from support to resistance, and that gives you your breakdown. After your third touch to the top is usually where you get your breakdown. So that could push us down toward our 743 if we do not see further VWAP push forward and these lower time frames remain more bullish. If our lower time frames start to weaken here, we likely will see this channel take over and bring us lower. Stochastic does want to head forward. VWAP is attempting to pull back. Momentum is bullish, but if our VWAP pulls back, momentum will weaken, resulting in the money flow starting to taper off and price action starting to drop. Remember, if the lower time frames drop, we will see the higher time frames drop, as the lower time frames do kind of lead into the higher time frames. Over on the 2-hour, stochastic does want to round here. VWAP is getting lower highs. It does want to break this neutral. If our VWAP breaks through neutral, we will see this momentum start to break down. Then our money flow will continue to weaken, which could result in the bears gaining control if that money flow flips into a bearish trend. Over on the 1-hour, we do have a pretty solid rising channel here. We have 2 touches at the bottom, 2 to the top. Well, on the 1-hour, we have several to the top. So if we do not reject away from here, we could see an invalidation push up, because typically when you get 3 touches at the top, you do get your breakdown, but typically you get about 2 or 3 touches to the bottom before you get that breakdown. So this could be an invalidation if we see further green candles push us up and we push out of this channel. However, if we remain in this channel, we're going to pull back, see our support level, and then start to taper away. Stochastic does want to weaken. Momentum has a double red dot. VWAP is trying to break through toward the bearish territory, and the money flow does want to pull back. If that VWAP breaks through and we start to favor the bearish territory, momentum will taper off, and that will result in that money flow to weaken. If that does happen, we will see the higher time frames start to weaken if it stays the course of a couple days. Remember, if we're bearish for one day on the lower time frame, that's not too bad. Over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we are rejecting that point of control, so that could attempt to push us down toward our value area low, right around that 50%. Stochastic is pulling back. VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory. We have a slightly lower high, so if we get these consistent lows and then we get weaker highs, we can still see the bears gain control here. Momentum does want to pull back. Stochastic is starting to sell off, so I would exercise caution. Over on the 4-hour here, we are overall trending down, so I would exercise caution. We do have our green below our blue, and we are falling below other EMA levels. If we continue to fall toward our 300 EMA and we break it and hold below it, it's very likely we will push out of this channel and push lower. RSI is weakening, stochastic wants to round away. We do have a bullish divergence. VWAP is trying to push into bullish territory, but if this VWAP rejects, momentum will remain bearish, and our money flow will start to gain some more bearish momentum. So I would watch these lower time frames. Over on this 2 hour, we did try to break our 300 EMA, and we are attempting to pull back. If we continue to see this pull back, we could start to see a market sell-off. Stochastic and RSI want to curl, VWAP's pulling back, money flow does want to round, and our momentum is pushing down. So overall, I would exercise caution. But if these lower time frames like this 1 hour can gain some bullish momentum here, we may be able to have one last hurrah and another push up. VWAP does want to push up, money flow is trying to cross bullish, momentum does want to push forward. We do have a green dot, so if our VWAP can stay in the bullish territory, momentum will push forward and our money flow can remain bullish, and that could try to push our lower time frames back up, and we could see the higher time frames gain some strength if we're able to see this lower time frame push up from here. If we lose this range, it's very likely bears will push us lower. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did hit the top of our channel. We are still near the top, so we could try to invalidate and pump forward if we break past this higher volume area where we have all the selling pressure. Again, that'll be hard. If we can break through it though, we could see a run forward. However, if we continue to see some red candles, or we stall here, then we get a red candle following this, we're likely going to push toward our value area high, and we could get this breakdown if we're not careful. VWAP is pretty flat, momentum is trying to run up, but if that VWAP pulls back, momentum will run away, and that money flow will taper down as well. Our stochastic is about at 42, so we do have slight bullish strength. If we can remain above a 30 and continue to push forward, our RSI can remain bullish. That can help keep price action right around where we are. We do need that stochastic and VWAP to run up if we're going to see price push forward. So that's what you're going to want to look for on the lower time frames if you're waiting for an invalidation of this channel. Our stochastic on the 4 hour does want to round. I would watch very closely. RSI is pulling back, momentum wants to round away, VWAP's pulling back, and our money flow is favoring the bearish territory. If that VWAP continues down and we break this neutral then favor bearish territory, we will see momentum pull back and that money flow will remain bearish, resulting in futures selling off. So I would watch very closely here. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to make a rounding bottom push up, and we want to hold above this green EMA. If we can hold above this green EMA, we could get another spike run up, just like back here. Stochastic does want to pull back, momentum is pulling back, VWAP did break bearish, but it got a weak low, and it does want to head forward. If our VWAP can favor the bullish territory from here, we will see those higher time frames gain strength, as this money flow will remain bullish, and we would push forward, seeing this flag get invalidated, or this channel get invalidated, and then we could see some other patterns like we have on Bitcoin push us forward. Stochastic is pulling back here on the 1 hour, RSI is going flat, momentum's pulling back, VWAP does want to break bullish, but we are favoring bearish slightly here. If we get a lower high here, then we pull back and get consistent or lower lows, the bears could gain control. However, if we get a higher high with a higher low, and then we continue that trend, we will see the bulls pump us forward. So I would watch very closely over the next few candles. If we pull back and see some bearish momentum, the bears may gain control on us. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we are trying to push at the top of our flag. We could get a push out of it if we're lucky. Stochastic does want to run up, RSI wants to push up, VWAP is trying to bounce, momentum's heading forward, and money flow is gaining strength. You could caught this move if you're in the Discord, because we did say if that VWAP crosses bullish, we likely would see a run up today. Over on our 4 hour, you can see we are right near that breakout point. If we can continue bullish momentum, we may get a break forward here. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is going flat, momentum is rounding, VWAP wants to pull back, and our money flow is in the bullish territory. So if the lower time frames can remain bullish, we will see a push forward here. Over on the 2 hour, we did get a little bit of a pullback that was more of a long lower shadow. Lower shadows do show the sellers are getting exhausted and bulls can step in and push us forward. If we follow this channel and we keep trending forward, we could try to rise. These tops aren't very consistent, As long as they don't become very consistent, we won't create a rising channel. If we don't create a rising channel, then we can see this flag push up without any cause for concern. However, remember, if we do make one very quick run up, we're likely going to retrace. Stochastic does want to push up. VWAP is favoring bullish very slightly. We have some lower highs, so I would watch closely. Momentum is in the bullish territory, but if that VWAP breaks down and we see a lower low, then we will see that momentum pull back and money flow will pull back as well. However, if our VWAP can sustain above the bullish territory, stay above our zero, we will see momentum push forward, and then that can help push price action up, and we could see our flags play out. Remember, we do have the possibility of 92K that we covered in that don't miss TA clip. Our stochastic overall has bearish divergence. It does want to bring us lower, but that doesn't have to happen. VWAP is getting slightly higher highs with slightly higher lows. If we can continue this trend, momentum will remain bullish, money flow can remain bullish, and then this 1 hour can gain some steam and help push the higher time frames forward. Over on graph for the daily, we are pulling back. If we continue to pull back, we could see our support level. RSI is weakening, stochastic is rounding, VWAP's breaking bearish, momentum is pulling back, and our money flow is going flat. If our lower time frames gain bearish momentum, we likely will continue to push down. We are starting a consolidation after trying to break forward and trying to invalidate our pattern. If you look here, you would have wanted a bounce with this green candle and a confirmation. We got a bounce, then a rejection. A rejection has created a bit of a pull with a consolidation zone that does create a bear flag. That bear flag could end up dropping us down. Remember, the bear flags do bring you lower. That could end up giving us our initial breakdown right around that 35 cents area. RSI is flat, stochastic's trying to run up, VWAP's indecisive, momentum's in the bearish territory, and our money flow is slightly bearish. If our VWAP gets a rejection and we continue to be very weak here, we could see this flag bring us lower, and we could test some lower EMAs if we're not careful. Over on our 2 hour, we are hitting our blue EMA and starting to pull back. If we reject this blue EMA, we could see some further losses, and that could set us up to hit our gray or even black EMA, which is our 300 EMA. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is losing strength, VWAP is slightly favoring bearish territory. If we get a lower high with consistent lows, momentum will pull back and money flow will remain bearish. That will result in us breaking down. Over on our 1 hour, we did come up to our 300 EMA and we got rejected. If we keep getting rejected by these lower EMAs and we pull back from our yellow, that could create a trend where we start trending downwards. Stochastic does want to run up, RSI is pushing up, VWAP is running up, and momentum wants to push forward, but I would exercise caution. If this VWAP breaks down and then we get just a slight push up, a quick drop down, and then some bearish favor, momentum will remain bearish, money flow will curl away from neutral, and that would set us up to see some further losses and potentially see both these patterns bring us lower. Over on ankr for the daily, we did push our value area high and we were not able to break it, so that's the third time as of recent history. We do have a bit of a rounding bottom, but we also have a long upper shadow. If we follow this with a strong red candle, we're likely pulling back to our point control. However, if we follow this with a green candle, we can push away from resistance. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is trying to push forward, momentum is running up, VWAP's trying to push forward. I will delete this double top because with this consolidation, it did get invalidated. If our VWAP continues to get lower highs, we could see some bearish favor, so I would watch those lower time frames. Over on this 4 hour, we have multiple long upper shadows, so I would watch for a strong red candle. If we get a strong red candle, that will bring us lower. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is weakening, VWAP's pulling back, money flow is losing strength, and the momentum is rounding. If that VWAP continues lower, we could see the bears gain some control of the 4 hour here. Over on the 2 hour, we are starting to round away. This could create a rounding top. Momentum is starting to come down, stochastic does want to push down, RSI is losing strength, VWAP is curling away, and that money flow is starting to break bearish. If our VWAP continues to favor bearish, momentum will continue to weaken, and that money flow will continue to lower. That will result in the 4 and 1 hour or daily starting to weaken. Over on the 1 hour, momentum does have bearish divergence, RSI is weakening, stochastics getting beat down, and our VWAP is favoring bearish. If this continues, we will see momentum pull back, money flow will break down, and the bears could gain control of this lower time frame and start to pull us back. Over on XRP for the daily, we are starting some bit of a consolidation, but it's kind of at point 2. So if you can get what I'm saying, this could be a symmetrical triangle. A symmetrical triangle is a 50-50 pattern that can break you up or down. The down possibility would not be very favorable because it would also be a bear pendant that could drop us significantly, but the bull possibility, you draw about half and then you apply that could take us to that value area high. It would be in the next couple candles, probably the next couple days. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is flat, VWAP is nowhere to be found, momentum's nowhere to be found, and our money flow is flat. So watch the lower time frames. If they remain bullish, we will break up. However, if they break bearish, we're likely going to break down from here. Over on this 4 hour, we do have a reversal arrow. We are coming to the top of our pattern. A reversal after running to the top could be cautionary. It could signal we may drop down. Stochastic does want to run forward. RSI is pushing up. VWAP is flat. Momentum's running forward, and the money flow does want to gain bullish strength. But if our VWAP does not push forward, we will see the bears regain strength as momentum will round away and money flow will reject this neutral. Over on this 2 hour, we are trying to break up. We are kind of struggling here. We did attempt to break up several times before. Stochastic's trying to push up. RSI is trying to run up. VWAP is tapering off, so watch that closely. If it breaks bearish, momentum will taper off and money flow will remain bearish. If that money flow remains bearish, we will see a price action pull back that would result in a sell-off, and we could start breaking those supports. Over on this 1 hour, stochastic is running up. We have bearish divergence. RSI is trying to push up, but if our stochastic continues to weaken, RSI will weaken as well. VWAP is trying to kind of trend bullish, but it's zigzagging around, not very decisive. If we start seeing some stronger swings to the bearish territory, we will see this pattern get invalidated for the bullish break, and we will pull back. However, if we continue to see these decent stretches in the bullish territory, and momentum and money flow remain bullish, we could get a break up, pending we push up, get a retest, and continue up, not push up, get a retest, and break back in like the previous times. Finally, for algo for the daily, we do have some lower highs setting in. If we continue to set these lower highs, we do still have the possibility to break 25 cents. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is weakening, momentum is rounding, VWAP wants to break bearish, and the money flow is flat. If we continue to see some bearish momentum on lower time frames, the daily could start to push down. On the 4 hour, we are starting to go flat after dropping down. This could create a bear flag to push us lower. RSI does want to push up. Stochastic's trying to push forward. VWAP is trying to break up, and the money flow does want to head forward. Momentum is trying to head up with the green dot. So if our VWAP can sustain above our neutral, we will see momentum push forward, and money flow will remain bullish. That will help push the daily forward and help push price action higher. However, if these lower time frames start to break down, we will invalidate that. Over on the 2 hour, we did get a decent bounce off our 300 EMA. Stochastic does want to round though. VWAP wants to pull back. Momentum is heading forward, but if our VWAP pulls back, that momentum will make a break toward the bearish territory, and money flow will reject as well. Stochastic does want to round, so pay close attention to the next few candles. Over on our 1 hour, we are trying to get a solid run through our EMA channels. If we can solidify above these EMAs, we can get another run forward. However, if we see a rejection and we break this 300 EMA here, we will see the bears gain control and we will start to push lower. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is starting to round, momentum does want to push forward as VWAP is trying to reclaim bullish territory. We were getting some weak stretches after having decent stretches, but if we can continue to favor bullish, we will see momentum remain bullish. That will flip money flow into the bullish territory, and that can push us to our 2848. Remember, that is pending if our VWAP stays bullish. If our VWAP rejects here, then we get into the bearish territory. We could start to favor it and start to trend lower. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.